We'll now call the business session of March 18, 2025 to order at 6:17 p.m. All council members are present. Andre has stepped out to the hall just for a second. She'll be back in. Councilmember Barefield. We'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item of business is to consider the minutes of February 18, 2025, regular session city council meeting. These minutes were provided in your meeting packet. Are there any corrections? There being none, the minutes stand approved as submitted. The next item is to consider proclamations. We have a couple of proclamations, and I will go down to the podium and meet the recipients here.
Can I join you on Rappaport?
Our first proclamation is for National Nutrition Month. Do we have Don Ballasing? Yes. Donna. Appreciate. Josh, could you go up and grab the actual certificates? I forgot them next to me. Thank you for being here today. We've got this is for National Nutrition Month, and so important right now, particularly as we talk about health and health services in the United States and everything that we're doing to bring down health costs. If you have good nutrition and work out and are in good healthy condition, you can reduce a lot of your health costs. So I appreciate all the efforts that you employ relative to National Nutrition Month, and I will now read you the proclamation that I'll present to you. I, Jim Holmes, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Waco, Texas, do hereby proclaim March 2025 as National Nutrition Month in the city of Waco. It's National Nutrition Month, people, in March. Let's say it. I've declared it. And I urge all citizens to join the city council, city staff, and me in recognizing National Nutrition Month in our community. Let us all engage in activities that promote nutrition awareness and inspire healthy eating habits for a healthier lifestyle and future. Established in 1973 by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, National Nutrition Month serves as an opportunity to raise awareness about the importance of making informed food choices, developing healthy eating habits, and leading active lifestyles. Proper nutrition plays a critical role in preventing chronic diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and is key to maintaining a strong, healthy body. The Waco-McLennan County Public Health District is committed to improving the health and well-being of Waco residents and those in surrounding communities by developing programs and promoting education for healthy living. One such program, Create Better Health, is designed to help participants enhance their understanding of healthy meal planning, eating habits, reading nutrition labels, and setting achievable goals. The Women, Infants, and Children program, the WIC program, also assists local families with access to nutrition, education, and food assistance. Food connects cultures, families, and individuals through memories, traditions, seasons, and celebrations, shaping our relationship with what we eat. The theme for the 2025 National Nutrition Month campaign is Food Connects Us. It encourages individuals, families, schools, communities, and organizations to participate by focusing on improving nutrition, incorporating physical activity, and supporting health at every stage in life. And the certificate reads, "In testimony whereof, witness my hand and the seal of the city of Waco this 18th day of March, 2025." And I will present it to you right now, Dawn. If you want a picture here. And then Don, you can say a few words. Here, let's do this. Hold it. We both have Omaha backgrounds here, Omaha, Nebraska. And Creighton University is going to the dance. We got a 9 seed. We play on Thursday. Please.
Mr. Mayor, council members, I want to thank you for the proclamation. And this time last year, we promised that we would make a significant impact in the community. And as of last month, the WIC program alone served over 6,740 citizens in Waco-McLennan County District. We do not do this work alone. With the help of the health education program in the health district, we cover ranges from 0 to 90, helping introduce and foster healthy eating habits for all of Waco's citizens. Again, thank you very much for putting your trust in us to help us get to our healthiest outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Don. Appreciate you. That was the month. We're declaring March the month of nutrition, and now we have a day that we're going to declare. And this is for the Rappaport Ravens boys basketball state championship, and they're very proud of you guys and the coaching staff and all the guys that were involved in this championship. I know it takes a lot of hard work to be champions, a lot of preparation, a lot of teamwork, and your commitment to excellence is something that this city aspires to. And we're very proud of you as athletes, as students, and making that all work and becoming state champions is a very a great thing that we all aspire to. And you guys have achieved it at a very young age, and we hope that you continue to be champions in the city of Waco. And we would like to make that official here today by naming this Rappaport Ravens Boys Basketball State Championship Day. So could I get the coach? All right. So now that we've got everybody lined up here, I'll do the proclamation. We'll take pictures here in a second. I, Jim Holmes, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Waco, Texas, do hereby proclaim March 18th, 2025 as Rappaport Ravens Boys Basketball State Championship Day in the city of Waco. That's it. And I urge all citizens to join the city council, city staff, and me in recognizing the Rappaport Academy Public School Ravens boys basketball team as the 2024-2025 UIL Class 2A Division I state champions. We congratulate Coach Tremaine Rice. Thank you so much. And we congratulate your staff and your team for winning the first state title in program history and the first UIL basketball championship in Central Texas since 2001. It's been a long drought. Let's hear it. Absolutely, you guys are champs. This championship was the culmination of years of hard work. In the title game, the Ravens displayed exceptional skill, resilience, and determination as they held off a formidable Hearn team, securing the championship with a hard-fought win. The success of the Ravens is not only a reflection of their athleticism, but also of their commitment to excellence. This team's discipline, sportsmanship, and integrity, both on and off the court, are a testament to the values of Rappaport Academy Public School. The city of Waco celebrates this championship, and we look forward to the continued success of Rappaport Academy Public School and its outstanding student athletes. And this is signed whereof by the hand of the seal of the city of Waco, by myself and all the city council members up there, and congratulations on this award.
Right. was like, come on, Josh. Stop hogging the trophy, bro.
If y'all want to come here in the middle.
Get in the middle.
Jordan, would
Yeah.
you scoot that way and you'll, like, kind of right in the middle. Yeah, that'd be great.
The look, yeah. I was like, the baby came.
Uh-huh. We used to give them all proclamations. We don't do that anymore. They used to give each boy, remember? With their name on the. Yeah, we used to do it. We did it last year too. Mm-hmm. Well, Michelle would do that.
Word.
Thank y'all. Also want to congratulate Superintendent Alexis Newman. Were you out there? There you are. Congratulations. Everybody at Rappaport, you're making the city very proud. We really appreciate you.
And I
In a
see,
lot of ways.
Mayor, I see Board Chair Emily Cunningham out there doing the Lord's work every day.
All right. Have a good evening.
All right, as the Rappaport family makes its way out, we'll start. I see Clint, you're here. So the next item considered tonight is the public hearings, and Clint, I'll let you crank up whenever you're ready.
Yes, sir. Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution granting a special permit to Corey Dickman for a flea market and C4 zoning district on property described as Lot 4 through 7, Block 60 of the Campbell's Addition, known as 419 South 11th Street. By a vote of 6-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the special permit, subject to the special provisions and conditions and based on the following findings. That the proposed use is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the purpose and intent of Chapter 28 zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco. That the proposed use is compatible with the appropriate northerly development of the area in which is located. That the proposed use would not be more objectionable to neighboring properties because of traffic congestion, noise, fumes, vibrations, or any other characteristics than any use permitted in the zoning district without the grant of the special exception, and that available community facilities and services, including the road system, providing access to the proposed use, are adequate for the proposed use.
Thank you, Director Peters. Are there any questions for staff?
Clint, this is, just to refresh myself, this is just a renewal of the existing, or sorry, he came for a permit previously for the market? I'm trying to recall.
That's correct. So council approved a special permit for this back in August of last year.
Okay.
The permit was just for 6 months.
Gotcha.
They've actually haven't started operation yet, so they're renewing it. We did change it so it's still a 6-month permit, but it won't start until they actually start operating.
Gotcha. That was going to be my only thing. Great.
They'll be coming back every 6 months to renew their permit?
So for the first one, we wanted, just because of the nature of the use and some of the development that's happened in the area and some of the concerns from the neighbor, that first permit, we wanted to see how it operated. So that first permit, they'll come back 6 months. If it's going well, we'll probably extend that to a longer time period.
Okay.
You also placed quite a few conditions on it, too. On page 128 has a bunch of them on there, so I think we're going to keep a close eye on this one.
Correct.
I'll keep a close on
in Aliceville, so we were covered. And now open a public hearing for comments. Is anyone present who'd like to speak regarding this item? Seeing no speakers, we'll close the public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Second?
Hear a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? City Secretary Parker, will you please poll the council?
Bearfield,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Ewing,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-172. Director Peters.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution approving a final plan unit development plan for a portion of Saddle Creek PUD for a car wash on approximately .97 acres described as portion lot of Lot 8 and all of Lot 9, Block 5 of the Saddle Creek addition known as 10,001 China Spring Road. By a vote of 7-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the final PUD plan based on the following findings and conditions. The findings are that the final PUD plan is consistent with the approved concept PUD plan, conditions of the approved concept PUD plan, and the requirements of the PUD ordinance. And 2, the circulation plan, public facilities and service plan, preliminary architectural plan, and site development and landscaping plan included in the final PUD are adequate. We do have 5 conditions. Final PUD plan must meet all development standards consistent with the concept PUD plan and site requirements of the Plan Review Committee, but not limited to the following: site grading and drainage, signage, regulations, parking, site coverage, access and circulations, gating, landscaping, refuse location and access, and fire protection location and access. 2, the property shall be platted in accordance with the subdivision ordinance prior to issuance of building permits. 3, the car wash establishment shall be limited to the portion of Lot 8 and 9 as shown on the provided site plan. 4, hours of operation shall be limited to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And 5, all site lighting must be directed towards the establishment and not any adjacent properties.
Thank you, Director Peters. Are there any questions for staff on this one?
Yeah, on this one, staff recommended approval of the final PUD and Plan Commission voted unanimously for disapproval?
Approval.
Oh,
Okay.
threw us for a loop. It says disapproval.
I'm sorry about that, yeah.
So opposite.
Yeah, that was a copy and paste error.
Not,
Okay. So this was unanimously approved by Plan Commission
Yes,
after
sir.
staff
Yes, sir.
recommended
Yes,
approval.
sir, that's correct. Yeah,
It's like that.
Wait, what?
got it.
we're seeing if you're paying attention.
Okay, that was
George, that was
that was good.
What's gonna go?
Okay, are there any further questions for staff other than that critical misprint? I'll now open a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone present who'd like to speak regarding this request? Seeing no speakers, we'll close that public hearing, and is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion on this one? City Secretary Parker, will you please poll the council?
Bearfield,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Ewing,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-173. Director Peters.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the city of Waco, Texas, providing that the comprehensive plan be amended to change the land use designation from industrial to office industrial flex on a portion of land situated within the Carlos Ocampo Survey Abstract Number 32, McLennan County, Texas, being the called 152.71 acre tract of land described in a special warranty deed with the vendor's lien to PCRIF Waco Gateway LLC, undivided 68.33% interest. Cunningham Interest 2 Limited with undivided 29.63% interest, and Brown Capital Group LLC, undivided 2.04% interest. Recorded in document number 23034072 of the official public records of McLennan County, Texas, and being shown as the proposed lots 1, 4, 5, and 7 of the proposed Waco Gateway Edition, approximately 42.01 total acres. Providing that the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28247 and Chapter 28 zoning of the code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so that proposed lots 1, 5, and 7, approximately 19.01 total acres, shall be changed from M2 to C2 district classifications, and that proposed lot 4, which is approximately 23 acres, shall be changed from M2 to O2 district classification. Providing for penalties, providing a saving clause, providing a And finding determined at the meeting in which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 7-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the land use designation change based on the following findings. Public infrastructure is adequate to provide for the zoning districts allowed in the proposed land use designation, and office industrial flex designations consistent with the surrounding land uses and other area properties that are also designated as office industrial flex. Plan Commission also recommended approval of the zoning based on the following findings. Proposed zoning is keeping with the land use component of the comprehensive plan as revised. The existing and planned public infrastructures are generally adequate to provide for uses allowed in C2 and O2 zoning districts. The properties meet all the area and width requirements for C2 and O2 districts, and the proposed C2 and O2 zoning is compatible with the surrounding area and other uses along a major thoroughfare, which is I-35 Bagby Avenue and the proposed Gateway Boulevard extension.
Thank you, Director Peters. Are there any questions for staff? I'm sorry.
Yes, Clint, this is so close to the new Kendrick School going up. Did the Plan Commission talk about this?
I'm sorry, what? It's close
This
to
is,
what?
Am I looking at the wrong map?
Councilmember Rodriguez, this is zoned, I think, for Castleman Creek Elementary in Midway ISD. And so it's on the other side of Highway 6 from Kendrick. So it's both in the,
And then my map says Kendrick right next to it.
you know why? I think it's technically in our city maps, the Kendrick Neighborhood
Neighborhood
Association, which,
Okay, so I don't know my district, I guess.
well, that's in, it's District 3, but
No,
it's,
but
it's,
it
we
said-
split it.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
sorry, I asked the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's on the other
I'm
side.
not wearing yellow anymore.
Got to wear the yellow. Yeah, this one's on the other side, but yeah, I got confused also
Yeah,
when I saw
was
that,
looking- I said,
Kendrick Neighborhood.
but I'm with you. Are there any other
is that
questions?
by Sendero Springs?
Yeah. On the other side of the interstate. Okay, I will now open a public hearing for comments, and we do have a card here from the applicant, Dan Moody. Would you like to come to the podium? Mr. Moody. I don't need to speak, I already filled it out in case I had to. Okay, we'll see, do we have any other speakers here? Any opponents on this, want to speak? We have no speakers, so thank you for coming tonight, Dan. Anyone else present who'd like to speak regarding this item? Seeing no additional speakers, we'll now close the public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? City Secretary Parker, would you please poll the council?
Bearfield,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yeah,
Ewing,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-174. Director Peters.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the city of Waco, Texas, providing that the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28-247 and Chapter 28 zoning in the code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so that certain property containing approximately 3.37 acres, described as Lot 1, Block Z of the Edgefield Park Addition, known as 90 Bagby Avenue, shall be changed from R1B district classification, becoming be designated in the O2 district classification. Providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting which this ordinance has passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 6-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the zone change based on the following findings. The proposed zoning is keeping with the land use component of the comprehensive plan. The public infrastructure is adequate to provide for uses allowed in the O2 zoning. The property meets all the area and width requirements for O2 zoning. And there's O2 zoning adjacent to the subject property across Bagby Avenue and South First Street. And O2 is the dominant zoning of the Baylor University campus.
Thank you, Director Peters. Also, I will mention here that Councilmember Borderood has filed an ASI and will not participate in this an affidavit of substantial interest, will not participate in this public hearing. Thank you again, Director. Where did you go? Oh, you were there. Director Peters, thanks. Are there any questions for staff? I will now open a public hearing for comments, and we have a couple cards here, one from the applicant and an opponent. We'll have the applicant come up first, Patrick Carley. Patrick Carley, please come to the podium, and you will have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address.
Hello, Patrick Carley. I represent Baylor University. I'm the Associate Vice President for Facilities and Operations. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. So in the process of updating our campus master plan, we discovered an inconsistency with this particular parcel, and we're now trying to rectify that through the zoning process. Being consistent across campus with zoning will help us with any obstacles or city permitting in years and decades to come. Please note that there is no current plans to change the use of this particular parcel. Right now, it is used for band practice for portions of the year and for sports and recreation for the full year. During band practice, the band frequently uses a portable scissor lift for the director or for video or camera person to take pictures and video of the band. Baylor has had some informal discussions about the possibility of putting in a tower for the band to use versus that portable scissors lift. As of today, there have been no decisions and no funding identified to move forward with this option. If Baylor were to pursue a tower, we would certainly go through the appropriate permitting and approval processes through the city at that time. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Carley. Are there any other proponents on this public hearing item? No other proponents. We also have another card from an opponent, Dr. Charles Bayless. Dr. Bayless, please, as you approach the podium, you will have 3 minutes to address the council. Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, council members. My name is Charlie Bayless of 1704 Plum Circle. I'm about right next to a lot that's adjacent to the one in question is my residence. And I actually am very grateful to be a professor of electrical and computer engineering at Baylor, and as well as a resident in this faculty neighborhood, which consists of faculty members and their families and executive staff. I live in 1704 Plum Circle with my wife and our 2 sons. One is 4 and one is 10 months, so they're very young. And I'm here to speak on behalf of my family and several neighbors against the zoning of this, rezoning of this lot. So by converting the zoning, something you should be aware of is that the city of Waco has indicated that the traffic on Bagby Avenue behind our house, so we're on, we actually back up to Bagby, and it could increase from 1,600 vehicles per day to 3,600 vehicles per day. That's an over 100% increase in vehicles per day. Further, it appears likely that a commercial construction on this property could also include access through Cottonwood Street, which is on the other side of the property and is a residential street fenced off right now, the main street through our neighborhood. This would astronomically increase the traffic down our neighborhood street and make it unsafe for our children to ride their bicycles or go to friends' houses to play. Many of my other neighbors also have school-aged and preschool children. We have a special needs child in our neighborhood also. Our children incur a safety risk in a decision to rezone. That's why I'm here. Since this process began, I have conversed via email with Baylor on this topic, and we've had very friendly discussions. And Baylor's responses, unfortunately, have not convinced me that rezoning is a good idea. My main 2 concerns are summarized as follows. Number 1, Baylor has stated to me that it is simply trying to bring the property to an equivalent zoning with other properties, as they've stated to you. It has no plans to do anything immediate to the property. If there are no plans to do anything to the property, why would Baylor take the time and effort to get it rezoned now, rather than getting it rezoned when they plan to do something with the property? That would be the correct course of action. Properties should not be rezoned simply for the convenience of having a consistent portfolio across campus. They should be rezoned when and only when it is planned to build something that requires rezoning. Well, and you have to realize this is our only chance as residents to provide a referendum to this. So while they say they're not building anything, if they decide to build something at some point, we have no recourse to you at that time. We have to protest now, and that's why I'm here. Second, while Baylor claims no traffic increase will occur in the immediate future, which may be true, there will be a significant increase if a reasonable structure is built following the new zoning. If Baylor decides at some point to erect a parking garage or apartment complex on this property or sell it to someone who will, we, the residents, will have no recourse, as I mentioned. In a rezoning, we can't take someone's word for it. The zoning hearing should consider the full implications of anything that could happen under the new zoning. And in conclusion, our neighborhood, our children cannot afford a street with cars streaming to a new structure. As residents, we ask and come to our only recourse to our elected members, you, the city council, and our mayor, to defeat this motion.
Thank you, Dr. Bayless. We now will allow the applicant to come back for rebuttal. If you would like, you have the podium. Mr. Carley, if you'd like to come back for another 3 minutes.
Thank you for the opportunity. I believe the traffic numbers that were just cited would be, if this were land to be fully developed out into some other use. But as I said before, we have no plans to change the use of this particular area in any, right now at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Carley. We have no further speakers on this item. We will close the public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Do we know if I guess, sorry, I should have asked when the representative from Baylor was back at the podium, but the plan going forward is to have this to continue to be used for the band's practice field and facility? Okay.
The only question I have, and because, you know, the way these eyes are set up, is Plum a cul-de-sac? Or is that just a circular tree? Okay.
We have no further, the public hearing is closed.
I was asking Clint, I wasn't asking him.
I'm not gonna wear yellow anymore.
Yes, it's a cul-de-sac. There's actually several little cul-de-sacs in that little faculty housing neighborhood.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? City Secretary Parker, do you, go ahead.
Clint, when this was up for discussion, did any Baylor faculty come up here? and
At
oppose
Plan
this?
Commission?
Baylor faculty? At the
Yes.
Plan Commission?
Yes, there was two.
Two?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was, what was their opposition?
It was the same.
Thank you.
Yep, sure, you're welcome.
Any further discussion? City Secretary Parker, please poll the council.
Bearfield,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that passes. We now move to the resolutions. The consent agenda consists of resolutions 2025-175 through 2025. Okay, hang on. Through 2025-217, except for resolution 2025-185. And so we'll vote on the 2025-185 first because there was an ASI on that one. Is there a motion on resolution 2025-185?
Move for approval.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? City Secretary Parker, please poll the council.
Bearfield,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that resolution passes. We now move to the entire consent agenda, which consists of resolution 2025-175 through 2025-217, except for resolution 2025-185. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the consent agenda? City Secretary Parker, will you please poll the council?
Bearfield,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Ewing,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, the consent agenda passes. The next item on the agenda is ordinance 2025-218, City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
An ordinance amending Section 25-133.1, temporary construction speed zone of Article 6, speed regulations in Chapter 25, traffic and vehicles of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, to adopt a temporary construction speed zones of 55 miles per hour on the main lines and of 45 miles per hour on the northbound and southbound frontage roads of Interstate Highway 35 from South 12th Street to Loop 340, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing a severability clause, providing a savings clause, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for a penalty, providing for an effective date, and providing and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance comes to the council on first reading.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on first reading.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this ordinance? City Secretary Parker, please poll the council.
Bearfield.
Yes.
Rodriguez. Ewing.
Yes.
Porterud.
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is ordinance 2025-219, City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, abandoning 3 tracts located in Farm Lot 1 of the unrecorded map of Waco and vicinity by W.A. Taylor and D. Beale of 1869, being generally located between Washington Avenue and Columbus Avenue and between North 5th Street and North 6th Street in the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, as follows. Abandonment of a 20-foot wide alley abandonment tract, approximately 0.151 acres. 2, abandonment of a 15-foot wide alley abandonment tract, approximately 0.057 acres, being all of a called 15-foot wide alley described in a deed to McLennan County, Texas, recorded in volume 1222, page 86 of the deed records of McLennan County, Texas. And 3, abandonment of a Columbus Avenue right-of-way abandonment tract approximately 0.005 acres and being out of a called 0.2108 acre right-of-way tract described and vested in the City of Waco in cause number 35329, recorded in volume 1140, page 136 of the deed records of McLennan County, Texas, all adjacent to 501 Washington Avenue and 220 South 5th Street, adopting findings and conditions from the Waco Plan Commission for this abandonment, finding no duty to maintain, authorizing the city manager to execute quitclaim deeds, providing a severability clause, and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by 6-0 council vote on first reading on February 18th, 2025.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any discussion? City Secretary Parker, will you please poll the council?
Bearfield.
Yes.
Rodriguez. Ewing.
Yes.
Porterud.
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is ordinance 2025-220, City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, abandoning an approximately 0.0256 acre tract of land in the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, being a portion of the 15-foot wide alley of Block 10 of the Paul Quinn addition to the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, as per plat recorded in volume 167, page 459 of the deed records of the McLennan County, Texas, adjacent to 1210 Kellum Street, adopting findings and conditions from the Waco Plan Commission for this abandonment, finding no duty to maintain, authorizing the city manager to execute quitclaim deeds, providing a severability clause, and providing and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by 6-0 council vote on first reading on February 18th, 2025.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reading.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? City Secretary Parker, would you please poll the council?
Bearfield.
Yes.
Rodriguez. Ewing.
Yes.
Porterud.
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is ordinance 2025-2021, City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing that the comprehensive plan be amended to change the land use designation from fixed use flex to medium density residential office flex on approximately 0.57 acres described as lots 8 through 10, Block 24, Farewell Heights Edition, known as 1925, 1923, and 1917 Summer Avenue. Property IDs 172667, 172668, and 172669, and 2, approximately 0.76 acres described as lots 11 through 14, Block 24, Farewell Heights Edition, known as 1915 and 1911 Summer Avenue. Property IDs 172670 and 172671. TBD Summer Avenue, property ID 337357 and 3000 North 19th Street, property ID 172672, providing that the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28-247 in Chapter 28 zoning of the code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so that the properties described as 2 above shall be changed from C3 to R2 district classification, providing for penalties, providing for a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and providing and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as provided by law. This ordinance was approved by 6-0 council vote on the first reading on February 18th, 2025.
Thank you, City Attorney. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on this item? City Secretary Parker, please poll the council.
Bearfield.
Yes.
Rodriguez. Ewing.
Yes.
Borderood.
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is the hearing of visitors. During the hearing of visitors section of this agenda, we provide an opportunity for the public to present concerns and address issues that are not matters for consideration listed on the agenda. The council is unable to conduct a discussion, but will listen, ask staff to look into concerns, and provide follow-up. Please provide registration information so that staff can contact you if necessary. If you have handouts, please let us know at the beginning of your presentation, and staff will distribute those to the council. If you're unable to approach the podium due to physical limitations, a microphone is available to be brought to you. And we do have a few cards here tonight. So when called to the podium, please state your name and address for the record. Each speaker must limit comments to 3 minutes. If you're speaking on behalf of a group of 10 or more individuals present, please have those persons stand at the beginning of your comments. You'll be given 10 minutes to address the council. Please note that if you stand in support of a person getting 10 minutes to speak, you are forfeiting your right to speak on that item. For any person addressing the council through the use of a translator, the speaking time will be doubled to accommodate the translation services. While public discourse is very important to the council, we have to maintain order in the meeting so that all persons may be heard and city business may be conducted. If so directed by me, the Sergeant-at-Arms shall remove from the council meeting any person who, while addressing the city council or while attending the city council meeting, makes personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks, becomes boisterous, or makes unauthorized remarks from the audience, claps hands, stomps feet, whistles, yells, or makes similar demonstrations. So we do have a few cards here. We'll start here. Mr. Ephraim Herring, let's see, there you are. Mr. Herring, good evening. As you make your way to the podium, you'll have, please state your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes to address council.
My name is Ephraim Herring. I live at 1044 Chestnut, and I'm here to talk about 1046 Chestnut. The reason why I'm here, it's been 2,785 days. The problem has not been resolved yet. I started this investigation back in March of 2002 because I asked a question. It's been 23 years. I've been trying to get an answer to this question why the original house at 1046 Chestnut was torn down. I did all my research here that I was told first by your planning department, your record department, that y'all get a new computer system, which means everything else should be accessible to the public. If you look at an article in your charter, it says in your charter plain and clear that Article 9, Section 5, that public records should be available to the public. Well, my house is public record. I've yet to see the reason why they tore the house down, and they first began to start this campaign of me trying to get an answer for 23 years. My next question I had is, You know, it says in there, I looked at the plans and I did a deep research in the plans, and there's not, that plans are approved by the city council and approved by the planning commission, but it's in violation of your own approval for development. So that guy shows it's just supposed to be in a concrete alleyway, not a gravel, so that plan should never have been approved in the first beginning. Second of all, I'm looking at here is saying that there's nothing in your charter that allows anybody to change that plan, because in your charter, it says clearly that section, Article 1, Section 5 says the city of Waco has the authority to control the sidewalks and also plans. There's nothing in there that allows anybody to change those plans. So I'm trying to figure out how they get a certificate of occupancy that somebody's told me that's been approved by the city if it doesn't fit all the Navy plans. So I'm trying to prevent it go back to 2002 when you tore the house down with no explanation. Still ain't got an explanation on why the house was torn down. It was not substandard, was not in violation. They say the violation of a policy. What policy? That's all I'm trying to find out. What policy was violated to give the plan, to give the Building Standards Commission the order to tear it down? I've been to one of the Building Standards meeting, and I'm kind of shocked because they're still working on the type of computer system that I used when I was 1985 and 86. When I was a cop in 88 in Virginia, we put in somebody's address and get everything we need to know. But here, I guess in Waco, still hasn't had that computer system. On that note, I'm gonna give y'all have a blessed day, but still, I need an answer of what the solution is gonna be. There's nothing here saying I had to have an attorney. I did hire an attorney in 23, and they didn't give him an answer. They sent him around the block a couple times. So I need an answer. If you can send me a letter saying that that document you sent me was not right, well, I need an answer. And I'll keep coming back till I get an answer. Y'all have a blessed day. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Herring. Appreciate you. Have a good evening. Next card is from Terry Romans. Terry Romans. There you are, Ms. Romans. As you approach the podium, please state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to speak. Correct. All right.
Okay, Terry Romans, 4675 East Old Axtell Road in Axtell, 714-271-4118. I wish I was coming here for a joyous occasion like this one team that was here. I thought that was wonderful, and I thought, oh, they're really not going to hear you, Terry. They're not going to like what you have to say. I'm coming because of what's going on at the Pet Circle Animal Shelter. I worked there when it was a humane society. And I'm going to start off with St. Francis of Assisi, who wrote, "All creatures of our God and King, lift up your voice and let us sing. Oh, praise him. Hallelujah." If St. Francis walked through that shelter today, he would be so disappointed at the treatment of these animals. They are being basically abused. Some animals are not out of their kennels for 6 to 14 days. When I was a volunteer there, we made an effort to get every animal out. We stayed past 6, and we would just hip, hip, hooray, and be so excited that all the animals got out. We had 20 to 30 volunteers. I know why they're not coming. I called Baylor, and the woman I spoke to, she said, you know what, Terry? My daughter and her friend won't go anymore because of the way they were treated. And I said, oh, I totally understand that. Well, how were they treated? She said, with disrespect, like they weren't wanted. When I came back to visit my friend Karen, I said, Karen, are you the only person here? She said, yes. And I said, how many dogs have you done today? 12. And I said, there's no other volunteers. She goes, no. I said, where are they? She goes, I don't know. They're not coming, Terry. So I took it upon myself to call Baylor. Now, you need more paid employees. You do, because when I was there, we had at least 5 to 6 women out, I'll call it, in the courtyard every day, showing animals, playing with the animals, besides the office staff. Now there's an office staff, and we have the people that clean the kennels, and workers called my friend and said, do you realize sometimes they're not cleaning them at the end of the day and they're just walking off their shift? That would have been unheard of with Humane Society. That is unacceptable. No dog. I'm sure you all have dogs. I'm sure you do. I have 3. You know, this is just unacceptable. There will be dogs in the kennels going in circles. That means they're distressed. They're anxious. They need to be taken out. And why are 40 to 50 dogs killed since September? And I'm going to say killed because of behavior issues. What issues? Because they're tormented. They're anxious. They're distressed. I'm sorry, this isn't pleasant, but I'm going to say it. One woman, they had a great volunteer there. She made the mistake of going on social media, and the city found it, and they fired her.
Can you wrap up your comments, Ms. Romans?
Yes, we need help, you guys. We need more paid employees. And you know what? This is just the beginning. It's not stopping.
Thank you, Ms. Romans.
Okay? Squeaky wheel, and we're going to get out into the community.
Our next card is from Vernon Davis. Vernon, are you here today? There you are. Vernon, as you approach the podium, when you get there, state your name and address for the record, and then once you complete that task, we will give you 3 minutes to address the council.
Vernon Davis, 1201 Forest and 323 North 7th. Good evening. I appreciate y'all allowing me to come speak. Mayor, council members, city staff, I trust you've had the opportunity to review the one-page document I submitted to the city secretary on the loss of a walkable neighborhood. Yes, sir. If you have, then I would ask that you allow me to move on to a potential resolution that I've identified that serves as a resolution for several issues. I firmly believe if you identify a problem, you should identify a solution and present that as well. There are considerable service vehicles driving on the stadium side of the TxDOT easement to service major Waco utility devices as well as the bridge. There is no hard surface. When they go out there and it's wet, they leave ruts. They bring the mud out onto the street and the sidewalks, much like a farm road, if you will. I feel that if the city could work with TxDOT, secure an easement, and construct a similar walk path like that for the MKT trail, that would give us a ADA access back to the Riverwalk and allow also walkable bicycle paths to reconnect the neighborhood to downtown merchants and restaurants. In doing so, it would eliminate the very tacky view as seen from Baylor Club and the meeting areas at McLean of said damaged vegetation when looking toward Foster Pavilion. Excuse me, I have weak lungs, so I have to take a minute for breath. Simple native vegetation between the pathway and the bridge would provide a softening of the hardscape, yet manage security considerations into the Bear Foundation and Baylor parking areas. It'd be beneficial to utilize the Riverwalk if the city could work with Baylor for an easement for citizens to use their pedestrian bridge so those of us who walk or ride the Riverwalk can make a full loop back up to Herring of the entire Riverwalk. I do not think the oversight to retain ingress or egress was done in malice. I would like to think the commission members were narrowly focused on the stadium and the task at hand. Our neighbors, along with multiple generational homeowners and residents, would be very appreciative of the restoration of access to the Riverwalk in downtown. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I appreciate your comments. We'll have staff follow up with you on your issues. Our last card is from Mr. Ken Willits. Ken, please state your name and address when you get here. You have 3 minutes to visit with the
Willis,
council.
4324 Shady Glen Drive, District 5, the best district in the city. At the new farmers market location on Elm Street, Bethel and Rachel are doing a great job. The first week, there was more public than I've seen there in 18 months. Many vendors even sold out of their products. This past week, it was even busier. I know they're working on some parking issues for the vendors and the public, but it's going great. Mayor, thank you for the seat on the Animal Welfare Board. Pet Circle has 2 kennel staff assigned to cover the 130 dogs in the YDR kennels. Both kennel staffs were gone on a Friday afternoon when I went there, and I was told that they were taking comp time off between 3 and 6 Friday afternoon. I have nothing against comp time, but as a supervisor, I would never allow an entire unit to take time off and leave no knowledgeable staff to help the public. There was staff from other units covering, but knowing very little about the dogs, and that was their own words, not my words. The public had no help finding the appropriate dog for their families. I did talk to Ashley Nystrom, the lady in charge of the Pet Circle, and she was okay with covering the kennel with other department staff and interacting with the public. That's like taking a Home Depot garden employee and putting them in the power tool department and trying to explain to the public the difference between a jigsaw and a skill saw. It just doesn't work. I also observed 4 staff standing around the YDR talking. A couple that had walked the entire YDR area looking at dogs made eye contact with the group. Not one of the group addressed the couple. The couple looked around and saw a long-term volunteer, went and talked to that volunteer about a specific dog. They saw the dog. Later that day, I saw the dog at the office filling out an application for what they call a sleepover rover. And they said that they're probably going to keep that dog because it was a great dog. But it was only because of the volunteer that was there and the engaging and knowledgeable and friendly with the public. At the last Animal Welfare Board meeting, there was 13 speakers. Usually there's only 5 or 6 speakers. This is an example of what they talked about. Staff not, and this is experienced long-term volunteers at the shelter were speaking to the Animal Welfare Board. Staff doing what's easy for the staff and not what's best for the dogs. No transparency, hard to find euthanasia numbers and the reason. Worst volunteer program after 6 months. Should have been better, but there's no improvement. They have said that the fosters and adopters were turned away at the end of the day because it's close to closing. Staff turned off their computers 20 minutes before closing and told the public to come back tomorrow. We got to get it better, guys. I don't believe, Terry, that we need more people. We just need staff to do their job better.
Thank you, Mr. Willis. Are there any other people here tonight who would like to speak at the hearing of visitors? Seeing no one, we will close the hearing of visitors and we'll go to council comments on items of community interest. Are there any announcements council would like to make?
I have a few. Councilmember Rodriguez mentioned that we both were in DC last week for the Congressional Cities Conference. We did not see our congressman, however, had the opportunity to speak with another congressman and about our city's concerns. There was some really fascinating sessions. Deputy City Manager Emerson was there also. I would encourage anybody who has concern, is curious about the high-level functions that are going on right now in the U.S. Congress to look at the National League of Cities website and pull down some of the sessions from the conference. I believe it's on their YouTube channel as well. I was fortunate enough to be able to speak on inclusion for the YEF Council, which is Youth, Education, and Families. The young people said I didn't suck, so it was a win. And yesterday, I had the privilege of spending some time with Baylor's Nonprofit Perspectives class with my friend Coleman Hampton, who is their professor, and some of them are in the audience today. So I'm glad to see you operating in your good civic due diligence, and we welcome you back every first and third Tuesday.
Councilmember, did the youth say to you, 10 out of 10, no notes?
That.
Yes.
Chef's kiss.
Yes. Mayor, I hope that several members of the community out in West Waco will be able to join us for the ribbon cutting for Fire Station 15. We look forward to it on Thursday at 9 a.m. I think we're going to have a pretty joyful time out there. If you're able to make time on Thursday morning, should be a fun time there at Ritchie and Panther. And just wanted to clarify, the paper of record ran a picture of me and the mayor sharing a joke in which I appeared to be making a gesture of unknown origin. That was just me explaining to the mayor if a drone came within my person, I would swat it down. Nothing untoward.
That's hilarious.
Just to clarify for the record, I know we have a reporter here.
Oh, you know
it was in that organ as well.
The other thing we should probably take a minute to celebrate is the fact that Johnson Hall, it is, while we haven't shared the super public, I don't think there's been a press release from it, but they did get the National Registry, National Places of Registry, so it got approved. It was last week? Last week. So we're super excited about that. I know that Paul Quinn College is coming to Waco April 5th. They're doing a coming home party on Quinn campus. So all the Quinnites and Quinn alum of the Waco and surrounding Central Texas areas, feel free. I don't have the information yet because it has not yet been given to me. But as soon as I do, it'll go out on my socials and they're calling all Quinnites back home.
Any other comments? George, got anything this week? I just want to mention, some symmetry here as we have our new city attorney start. We celebrated the life of Art Pertile this week, our city attorney from 1996, from a couple of decades ago. Great man, very smart man, and helped out this city quite a bit in some very important initiatives, and went on to do great things all over the place, but a great man. We will now go to the next session. Council reports and requests for scheduling future agenda items. Are there any council comments on future agenda items? There being none, we will now recess the business session and reconvene executive session at 7:18 p.m.
Notice is hereby given that the City Council will go into executive session in accordance with the following provision. 1, attorney briefing, Texas Open Meetings Act, Section 551.071, individual permit, major amendment application to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, TCEQ, regarding wastewater permit number QW000319. 0000. The City Council will now convene into executive session.